I never thought a single move could change my life, but it did. It all started with a note, a simple folded piece of paper left on my doormat. I didn't know who had put it there or why. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity got the better of me. The note read, "You left your keys in the door." I froze. I hadn't. Not that morning. Not ever. At first, I told myself it was a prank. Maybe someone mistook the apartment. But the notes kept coming. Every day, sometimes more than once. Each one seemed to know exactly what I was doing, where I was, who I was talking to, what I had for breakfast. I became paranoid. I looked out the window constantly. I started checking locks obsessively. And yet, there was a part of me that was almost fascinated. Who could know so much about me? And why? It wasn't just the notes. Packages moved slightly. Books left on the floor in a pattern I didn't remember. Sometimes small objects appeared. A pencil, a paperclip, a leaf. Little things that seemed meaningless. But they weren't. Every time I thought I was imagining it, another clue appeared. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't. My sleep was restless. My coffee tasted better, though I hadn't added sugar. My phone buzzed with no notifications. Everything felt off. One evening, after returning from work, I found a small key on the welcome mat. No note, no explanation, just a tiny key with a small tag. "It's time you know." I didn't touch it immediately. I sat on the couch, staring at it, heart pounding, mind racing. Who was doing this? And why me? The next day, I couldn't resist. I picked up the key. It fit into a small box I had never noticed in my apartment, tucked away in the corner near the window. Inside were hundreds of notes, letters, photographs, small recordings, each describing a moment from my life, things I had never told anyone. Even the small, seemingly insignificant moments, the way I sipped tea in the morning, the way I tapped my fingers when thinking, the small smile I gave my neighbor as I passed. And each note was written in different handwriting, in different styles, but all unmistakably about me. I read one aloud. "You always pause at the corner before your apartment. Today you hesitated longer. Something changed. I notice." I couldn't believe it. How could anyone observe all this? Then I realized it wasn't just observation. It was storytelling. Every note, every recording, every tiny object, it formed a story, my story, but someone else's version of it. I finally looked out my window one evening. There he was, my neighbor, the man I had seen every day but never spoke to beyond a polite hello. He was standing on his balcony, casually holding a notebook. I wanted to confront him. I wanted to scream. But instead, I watched. He wasn't creeping, wasn't sinister. He was focused, intent, careful. And then I understood. He wasn't watching to harm me. He was documenting life. He was creating art, a human story, unfolding in real time. Every note, every tiny object, every detail had a purpose: to see beauty in ordinary life, to find meaning in unnoticed moments. At first, I was angry. My privacy felt invaded. But slowly, I felt something else: appreciation, gratitude, a strange calm. I left a note on his door, just a small piece of paper. I understand now. Thank you. And with that, something shifted in me. I began noticing the small things I had always overlooked: the sunlight on my kitchen floor, the sound of my own laughter, the way the wind moved the curtains. I started documenting my own life in small ways, writing notes, taking photos, making recordings for myself, and maybe, just maybe, for someone else to notice someday. The man next door never intruded again, but his presence lingered in my awareness. He reminded me, even ordinary lives are full of meaning.
Sometimes we feel invisible. Sometimes life feels meaningless. But someone else noticing, even quietly, can change everything. We don't always need attention or validation, but acknowledgement, even in silence, matters. And in the still hours of the night, when the world is quiet, I sit and listen. To my own thoughts, to the small sounds around me, to the unnoticed moments. Because life, ordinary and extraordinary, deserves to be noticed. And sometimes, the still hour is exactly when we realize it.